All right, now we're going to go ahead, since we've got to put epoxy in both of these, but you know, that's the one I had to do the body damage, or fix all the body damage and stuff. This one just had to be repainted, but it's got rust inside, so we're going to put some evapor rust in there, and but we got to seal off this one little spot, just to get a piece of plastic and a rubber band, and that should do the trick. Flip it over. This side's a lot easier because that's the only your crossover lines all you got. Whereas you got all the petcock crap on the other side, you got to seal it off. We're just gonna pour it in there. All right. Now you can just use some plastic or whatnot. Do the same thing with a rubber band, but you can also use the gas caps. Now these are jacked up from the fire, but ain't gonna hurt nothing. So we'll just use them. We're gonna switch it around a little bit. Go set it over here, and then we'll start on the epoxy. All right, it's blatantly obvious that you're gonna have to degrease the inside of it, but it does say in the instructions, and I'm just gonna use some lacquer thinner, and you're gonna see a little bit weeping out through the little pinholes, but you know, I wanted to use the original gas tank. That's the reason why I cut it open and worked the dents and stuff out of it and welded it back up. But that's what the epoxy is for, is to seal off these pinholes and stuff. So let's go ahead and pour this in. I'm gonna go ahead and get the lid for it, or the gas cap. And then I'm gonna shake it like a Polaroid picture, drain it out, maybe put a little bit more in there, do it again, and then let it evaporate, and we'll start mixing our chemicals.
Do the twist. Do the twist. That's good.
All right, just let it evaporate. Drain out. Oh, dang. There we go. All right, we got a tank over here. Lacquer thinner is, evaporated. I'm gonna go ahead and start mixing this up. It's 2 parts A to 1 part B. So we're gonna put half of both of them into the container and mix them for 2 minutes thoroughly. I made this handy mo dandy mixer, so because it's critical. I've learned that if you don't mix this any kind of epoxy right, it ain't gonna do right. So we got that one. And then this one. And so let's start mixing them together. Let's see, 4 ounces of this one. They say you got about a 15-minute working time, so I'm just gonna sit here and work it back and forth for almost 15 minutes and then pour the rest out. That way I coat it all, because I don't want this thing, them pinholes leaking. Got done mixing it, and I went ahead and pulled the where the petcock is, drained out the excess, which it says so in the instructions, but I'm gonna be honest with you, I was kind of leery if there was going to be enough to coat the whole inside of the tank, but it really coated real well. Matter of fact, I probably mixed up too much, but err on the side of caution. I don't think this is something that you can undo once and then redo it. You got to do it right the first time. and so it's thickened up pretty good. Just double, just making sure it's good and thick, so it ain't gonna drip off the walls. It'll stay clung to it. It's been a few days. I wanted to let the epoxy cure on the inside of it real good before I went to fiddling with it and took it down to the painter. And plus I wanted to make a video so y'all can see how well it did. And I'm gonna be honest with you, it looks real good. I've used the old stuff before and it worked good for a period of time. Then it started peeling loose, and it's really hard to get it out of these tanks, but it peel loose and plug your petcock while you're riding, your bike dying. Anyway, it's a pain in the ass. But I've worked with epoxies a lot through the years in industry and in gunsmithing, and they're pretty chemical resistant. I mean, they are chemical resistant, not pretty. And so anyway, y'all come take a look on the inside of this thing. I think it turned out real good. And the cool thing is, even though I had to do a lot of body work on this original 1950 tank, I'm gonna be able to use it on the restoration, and it's gonna be the tank that come on it from the factory. But don't get me wrong, it took a lot of work. But thanks to Caswell, it was good. Let's look in it. You see that all the shiny coating? Now that's the epoxy that's cured on there and sealed the tank. And I even looked inside it with the inspection mirror and checked out the back, and it looks real good. I mean, everything looks sealed. But one thing I would do different the next time I do a set, which I got a shit ton of them to do, but anyway, and I recommend that maybe if y'all do it, to do the same thing. But now I went ahead and mixed my chemicals up a little more than I needed, because I wanted to make sure, because it has some pinholes and thin, and I wanted to make sure it was coated real well. And then I drained out the excess, which that's what the instructions tell you to do. But when I drained it all out, I just set the tank like this and to let it cure, which it was super tacky. I knew it was going to cling to the walls and the ceiling and stuff like that. But I did get just a little bit. I mean, it don't mean nothing. The size of my thumb, a little spot right there at the very bottom, right down in here, that just puddled a little more. Some that I couldn't get drained out. What I should have done, it's going to stop me from being able to put the full amount of fuel in there. I won't be able to go maybe tenth of a mile without running out. But anyway, what I should have done is, after I drained everything and worked it around a little bit more, and I'd set it and I worked it around a little bit more, when I was done, I should have gone ahead and set it up like this, because that way, this is their flattest side, and it would have got down here any residual that was still in there, and it would have self-leveled itself out instead of puddling in the lowest spot. But I mean, it's not a big deal. So, all right, like I said, this Caswell stuff, this is kind of my review on it so far. I think it's pretty damn good. I recommend it, and I know chemically it's going to be superior than the other stuff. And one other thing I can say is I've used Caswell products for lots of different things, for plating, for nickel stripping, chrome stripping, a lot. I can't even think of all the stuff that I have tanks in my bluing shack, but a lot of gunsmith and stuff, and I highly recommend them. So I'm going to post a link on wherever the editor posts links at. I don't really know how to do all that. I fix stuff, and I'm in it here. Gonna take this down there and get it painted and drink a beer, but not while I'm driving. I'll see you on the next video.